What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben, and welcome back to the Great War Group Build. This is episode number 5, and we're back on the 1/48 scale Eduard Nieuport 17. Today, I want to really try to get the basic fuselage ironed out. I want to get some of the parts and pieces glued on. I want to get that wing attached, get that rear tail attached. Then I also want to get the landing gears on and get this thing ready for paint. So first off, we're going to go ahead and grab our jeweler files, and we're going to start taking care of some of these seams. We have a seam that runs along the spine and a seam that runs along the bottom of the fuselage. So let's get out those files, cue that time lapse, and get this thing ready to go. Now, the cool thing about the Eduard Profipack kit is it comes with a ton of photo etch. Now, depending on how you feel about photo etch, sometimes I can take it or leave it. In this case, we're going to go ahead and try to use that photo etch and attach it to the parts it needs to be attached to. Now, there are these metal horns that attach onto the ailerons and onto the rudder, so we need to go ahead and glue those down. And so later on, we can use that to string through and get those riggings tied together. Now, we're going to take a little bit of super glue, and we're just going to place that on the side. There are tiny little locating pins that do kind of aid us in attaching these points, but still, they're very small and they're not easy. Here's a little close-up for you. As you can see, these are very, very small, and I'm trying to leave a little bit of a stub here at the bottom because those actually do attach into tiny little holes that have been pressed into the wing and into the tail. So we're just going to go ahead and cut one of them out here. I'm going to go ahead and try to pick it up because it is very, very tiny. So grab this, maybe flatten it out just a little bit, make sure it didn't get bent when I was taking it off the sprue. Now we're going to take our tweezers, we're just going to press it down into the hole. I have a little bit of super glue kind of tapped into that hole. Take a little bit more super glue, we're just going to slowly kind of go around the base of it, making sure that everything is legit and secured down to the wing. There are 4 points here on the tail. There's 2 on the top side, 2 on the bottom side. There's also 2 on the rudder. And we've already done those, so we're pretty good on that. I want to make sure that these don't pop off, so I'm going to put a little bit more super glue here. Really make sure these things stay put. Also, the hole is a little small. I probably should have thought about that before I glued them onto the wing in case I needed to round out the hole just slightly to go ahead and accommodate that easy line thread. I don't know. We'll live and learn and see what happens. All right, as you can see, we have all 4 of them on, and they look pretty cool, but man, are they small. Very, very troublesome to get on. Now, I went ahead and took the liberty of quickly just throwing that wing on here to the underside of the fuselage. We do have a lot of sanding to do here on this seam, so we're going to go ahead and dive back onto those jeweler files and get the seam all squared away to make sure that we can go ahead and get the wing attached and everything looks smooth and crisp. All right, not too bad, not too bad at all. We're going to go ahead and glue this rear tail in. All of the, I guess, cable horns, whatever you want to call them, are already glued down. They are good, they have cured. So now we're just going to attach that tail to the back of the actual fuselage. So first off, let's get these horizontal planes in here. I did sand and clean out this back area, so it is pretty level. Just want to make sure that they really stick where they need to be. Also, this rear tail, there's not much of an attachment point. There's no locating pins. There's nothing here on that tail. So this is not going to be easy to fit. But I think with a little bit of that Tamiya extra thin, as long as it kind of tacks up, we should be able to get that squared away. Hopefully it stays and we can get everything lined up. Let's go ahead and move on now to the landing gears. Now I wanted to go ahead and clean off some of these struts. So we're going to cue that time lapse and get these things cleaned up and installed. All right, everybody, we are looking pretty decent here with the landing gears. They're more or less squared up, ready to rock. We're going to go ahead and let those cure, though. I don't want to put too much weight on those for fear of maybe bending them or making them skewed in some fashion. So we're just going to go ahead and drop a little bit more glue here and really let this sit and solidify. And next episode, we'll be able to go ahead and put this down onto its gears, and we'll be able to do a little bit of painting. Because that's my goal. Next episode, I want to get this thing painted. So just to go ahead and make sure that we are prepped, ready for next episode for paint, I'm going to go ahead and take some of this Kleenex here, and we're just going to wedge it down into the cockpit opening. I don't want any sort of overspray or anything like that to go ahead and clutter up the work I did on the cockpit itself. So we're going to go ahead and protect it with just a little bit of this Kleenex. This should be good enough. Then after we go ahead and airbrush everything and we are looking pretty decent here on the paint, we can pull that out and do some touch up around the actual perimeter of the cockpit opening. I know there's a front section of leather and then there's a back section like a wood headrest. So we can put those on, but I really want to make sure we paint and get that looking sharp. So anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and call it quits for today. I've got the wing all prepared for painting next week. I've got the fuselage all prepared. We're going to use some NATO black, I think, for my primer coat. I don't know if we're going to do some black basing with this, but we're really going to try to maybe mix it up a little bit and see if we can't achieve somewhat of that kind of cloth doped appearance. We've got the cowling ready to go, the wing ready to go, the fuselage, landing gears, everything is pretty much sanded and ready to go. So come on back next episode, guys, where we're going to push through and get some paint on this little old Nieuport. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you soon.